Captain Jake Murphy stared at the main screen of his ship. The stars looked the same as always, cold, distant, and endless. He had been flying through space for 20 years, but the emptiness still amazed him. Today felt different, though. His ship, the Harrison, was 3 months into a routine mission to map the outer edges of human space. "Captain, I'm getting something weird on the sensors," said Lieutenant Ben Hayes from his station. The young man's voice had an edge to it that made Jake look up from his coffee. "Define weird, Ben." "There's an energy reading about 2 million kilometers ahead. It's not natural. Too organized, too clean." Dr. Lisa Carter, the ship's scientist, moved to look over Ben's shoulder. Her dark hair was pulled back in the messy bun she always wore when working. "What kind of energy signature?" "I've never seen anything like it. It's steady, controlled, like a machine that's been running for a very long time." Jake set down his coffee and walked to the front of the bridge. "Show me." The main screen changed to display sensor readings. A small blip appeared in the center, pulsing with a soft blue light. The numbers scrolling beside it made no sense to Jake, but Lisa's sharp intake of breath told him everything. "That's impossible," she whispered. "What's impossible?" Commander Kate Sullivan asked. The military officer had been quiet during their shift, reading reports from Earth Command. The energy pattern. "It's too complex for any known technology, human or alien." Jake felt his pulse quicken. In 20 years of space travel, he had learned to trust his gut. Right now, his gut was telling him they had found something important, maybe dangerous. "Ben, can you get us a visual?" "Working on it, sir." The screen flickered and then showed empty space. Stars dotted the black like tiny diamonds. For a moment, Jake thought the sensors had made a mistake. Then he saw it. A massive shape hung in the void, dark against the stars. It was enormous, easily the size of a city. The thing looked like it was made of black crystal, with sharp edges and smooth surfaces that caught and reflected starlight. Strange symbols glowed faintly along its sides. "Holy hell," whispered Tony Rodriguez, the ship's engineer. He had come up from the engine room to see what the excitement was about. "Language, Tony," Jake said automatically, but his heart wasn't in it. He was too busy staring at the object. "Sorry, Captain." "But what is that thing?" "I don't know," Jake admitted. "Lisa, any ideas?" Dr. Carter was already running scans from her station. Her fingers moved quickly over the controls. "It's definitely artificial. The material composition is unknown. The design doesn't match any recorded alien architecture." "How old is it?" Kate asked. "Initial dating suggests millions of years, maybe more." The bridge went quiet. Jake could hear the soft hum of the ship systems and the quiet beeping of various monitors. Millions of years meant this thing was ancient, older than human civilization, older than recorded alien history. "Captain," Ben said slowly, "I'm detecting weapon systems." Jake's blood turned cold. "How many?" "Hundreds. Maybe thousands. This isn't just a ship or a station. It's a weapon. A big one." "Is it active?" "Not currently. Everything appears to be in standby mode." Jake considered their options. Standard protocol said they should report the discovery and wait for reinforcements. But protocol also said they should investigate potential threats to human space. "Take U.S. closer. Slowly." "Sir, are you sure?" Kate asked. "If that thing is armed ... It's been floating here for millions of years without shooting anyone. I think we're safe for now." The Harrison moved forward at a careful pace. As they got closer, the true size of the object became clear. It was massive beyond belief. The ship's computers estimated it was over 50 kilometers long. "My God," Lisa breathed. "A technology required to build something like this ... Focus, people, Jake said. Ben, any response from the object? Nothing yet. Wait, ... Ben's face went pale. Captain, it's scanning us. What kind of scan? Deep. Level. It's looking at our ship systems, our crew records, everything. Jake felt his hands clench into fists. Can you block it? I'm trying, but it's too powerful. It's like trying to stop a flood with a paper cup. Suddenly, every screen on the bridge lit up with the same message in glowing letters. Contact established. Analyzing. Did we send that message? Jake asked. Number. Sir, Ben replied, his voice shaking. It's coming from the object. The message changed. Species identified. Homo sapiens. Earth origin confirmed. Jake felt his world tilt. How could an ancient alien weapon know about Earth? How could it know about humans? The message changed again. Authorization required. State your purpose. Inheritors? Inheritors? Kate whispered. What does that mean? Before anyone could answer, a new voice filled the bridge. It spoke in perfect English, with no accent or alien tone. It sounded almost human. Greetings, children of Earth. I have been waiting for you. The bridge erupted in shocked voices, but Jake held up his hand for silence. His training kicked in, pushing down his fear and amazement. This is Captain Jake Murphy of the Earth ship. Harrison, who am I speaking to? I am the Sentinel, guardian of the old ways, keeper of the promise made long ago. What promise? The promise made to your ancestors. The promise that you would one day claim your inheritance. Jake felt like he was dreaming. This couldn't be real. Ancient alien weapons didn't speak English. They didn't know about Earth or make promises to human ancestors. I don't understand, he said. You will. But first, you must prove you are worthy. Your species has grown much since we last watched. The question now is whether you have grown. Enough. Enough for what? To inherit what was left for you. To take your place as the new guardians. The screen showed a countdown timer. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 58 seconds. You have 24 hours to prove your worth. Fail, and you will join the countless others who came before and were found lacking. Others? What others? But the voice was gone. The countdown continued, ticking down, and Jake realized that whatever happened in the next 24 hours would change everything. Not just for his crew, but for all of humanity. The countdown had been running for 3 hours. Jake paced the bridge while his crew worked frantically to understand what they were dealing with. The ancient weapon hung in space before them, silent and waiting. Any luck reaching Earth Command? Jake asked Ben for the 10th time. Still trying, sir. The weapon is blocking our long-range communications. I can send short bursts, but nothing gets through clearly. Dr. Carter looked up from her station. I've been analyzing the scans we took. Before it activated, the materials are unlike anything in our databases. The energy patterns suggest technology thousands of years ahead of ours. But it speaks English, Kate pointed out. How is that possible? I've been thinking about that, Lisa said. What if it learned our language when it scanned us? Advanced AI could process our communication systems in seconds. Tony shook his head. Did you hear how it talked? It didn't sound like a computer learning language. It sounded like it already knew English perfectly. Jake stopped pacing. Sentinel, are you listening? The voice returned immediately, as if it had been waiting. I am always listening, Captain Murphy. How do you know our language? Your language was known to us long before your species reached the stars. We have watched your people since they first looked up at the night sky and wondered. Who is we? The builders, those who came before. Those who prepared the way. Lisa leaned forward. The builders are extinct. Every archaeological site we've found shows they disappeared millions of years ago. Disappeared, yes. Extinct, no. They live on in their creations, in their plans, in you. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. What do you mean, in us? Your species was chosen long ago, selected and guided. The builders saw potential in the small mammals of the third world orbiting a yellow star. Earth, Kate whispered. Earth, the sentinel confirmed. Your ancestors were touched by builder influence, guided toward intelligence, toward curiosity, toward the drive to explore beyond your world. Tony's face had gone pale. Are you saying humans are artificial? That we're some kind of experiment? Not artificial. Enhanced. Your natural evolution was encouraged along certain paths. The builders needed inheritors who could think as they thought, feel as they felt. Jake's mind reeled. Everything he thought he knew about human history was being turned upside down. Why? Why did they need inheritors? Because they knew their time was ending. Other species feared them, hated them for their power and knowledge. War came, as it always does. The builders could not win, but they could prepare for what came after. So they prepared us, Lisa said quietly. They prepared you. They scattered. Guardians like myself throughout the galaxy. Weapons, yes, but also teachers, libraries, tools, all waiting for the day when humanity would be ready to claim their inheritance. Ben suddenly straightened at his station. Captain, I'm detecting ship signatures. Multiple contacts approaching our position. Jake's stomach dropped. How many? 12 ships, no 15. More appearing every few minutes. Are they human? No, sir. The signatures match known alien vessels. Zephyrian, Kelton. Others I don't recognize. The sentinel's voice took on a new tone, almost amused. And so they come. The descendants of those who destroyed the builders. They have been watching your species, waiting for this moment. They know about the inheritance? Kate asked. They know enough. They know that when humanity claims what was left for them, the balance of power in the galaxy will shift forever. On the main screen, the approaching ships became visible. They were massive warships, bristling with weapons. Jake counted at least 20 now, with more arriving every hour. They're not here to congratulate us, are they? Tony muttered. They come to prevent you from claiming what is yours. They fear what humanity might become with builder technology. Doctor. Carter was studying the approaching fleet. Some of those ship designs are completely unknown. How many species are out there that we haven't made contact with? Many, the sentinel replied. Your people have explored perhaps 1% of this galaxy. You know even less about its politics. Jake felt the weight of command pressing down on him. His decisions in the next few hours might determine the fate of his crew, his ship, and possibly all of humanity. Sentinel, what exactly is this test you mentioned? What do we have to prove? The builders left specific criteria. You must demonstrate the 3 qualities they valued most: courage, wisdom, and unity. The same qualities that made them choose your species. And if we fail, then the inheritance passes to another species, one that may prove more worthy. What other species? There are others the builders touched. Humans were their first choice, but not their only option. The countdown timer showed 20 hours, 47 minutes, and 22 seconds. Less than 21 hours remaining. A new voice crackled over the communication system. It was harsh and alien, speaking in broken English. Human vessel. You will withdraw from the artifact immediately. This is your only warning. Ben looked at Jake. Should I respond? Put me through to them. This is Captain Jake Murphy of the Earthship Harrison. We are conducting peaceful research. We have no hostile intentions. Peaceful research, the alien voice laughed bitterly. You wake ancient weapons and call it research. You will leave now or be destroyed. We're not going anywhere, Jake said. Firmly, the alien ships moved closer, surrounding the Harrison. Their weapons powered up, creating a light show against the darkness of space. "Captain," Kate said quietly, "we're seriously outgunned here." "I know." The Sentinel spoke again, its voice carrying to every corner of the bridge. "The first test begins now, Captain Murphy. Your crew faces overwhelming odds. Your ship is outmatched. What choice will you make?" Jake looked around the bridge at his crew. Ben was young and scared, but still at his post. Lisa was brilliant and curious, already trying to understand builder technology. Kate was professional and brave, ready to fight if needed. Tony was practical and loyal, keeping the ship running no matter what. These people trusted him. More than that, humanity was trusting him. If the Sentinel was telling the truth, the future of his entire species might depend on the choices he made in the next few hours. "Sentinel, if we pass your tests, what exactly do we inherit?" "Everything the builders left behind. Knowledge beyond your imagination. Technology that will transform your civilization. The tools to become guardians of the galaxy. And if we fail, then humanity remains as it is. Limited, vulnerable. Eventually, you will be conquered or destroyed by those who surround you now." Jake looked at the alien fleet on the screen. More ships were arriving every few minutes. Soon they would be completely surrounded. But he thought about Earth, about the billions of humans who had trusted people like him to explore the stars and keep them safe. About children who dreamed of flying between worlds and discovering new civilizations. "Begin the test," he said. The bridge lights dimmed as the Sentinel began its first test. Jake felt a strange tingling sensation, like electricity running through his body. Around him, his crew members stood frozen, their eyes closed. "What's happening to them?" Jake demanded. "They are safe," the Sentinel replied. "This test is for you alone, Captain. Leadership cannot be shared." The bridge around Jake shimmered and changed. Suddenly, he was standing on the observation deck of a space station. Through the large windows, he could see a beautiful blue and green planet below. Ships moved peacefully between the planet and several orbital platforms. "Where am I?" "This is New Haven Colony, established by your people 50 years from now. Home to 2 million humans, including many families with young children." Jake watched the peaceful scene. Children's laughter echoed through the station corridors. He could see families walking together, pointing excitedly at the planet below. "It's beautiful," he said. "Yes, now watch what comes next." The peaceful scene shattered as massive alien warships appeared around the planet. They were unlike anything Jake had ever seen, dark and twisted, covered in weapons that crackled with evil energy. "The Devourers," the Sentinel explained. "A species that consumes other civilizations. They were locked away long ago by the builders, but their prison is weakening." Jake watched in horror as the alien ships began firing on the defenseless colony. The orbital platforms exploded in brilliant flashes. Ships trying to escape were hunted down and destroyed. "Stop this!" Jake shouted. "I cannot. This is what will happen if humanity fails to claim the builder inheritance. Without their technology, your species will fall to threats like the Devourers." On the planet below, Jake could see cities burning. The screams of the dying seemed to fill his ears. "But you can prevent this," the Sentinel continued. "Return to your ship now. Use my weapons to destroy the alien fleet surrounding you. Claim the builder technology immediately." "What about the test?" "This is the test. Choose quickly, Captain. Every second you delay, more innocents die." Jake watched families running through burning streets, children crying for their parents, the future of humanity burning before his eyes. "How do I know this is real? How do I know you're not just showing me lies? Does it matter?" Can you take the chance that it might be true? Jake closed his eyes, thinking hard. Something felt wrong about this. The Sentinel had said the builders valued courage, wisdom, and unity. But this test only offered violence as a solution. No, he said firmly. No. I won't use your weapons to kill the aliens around my ship. If they attack us, we'll defend ourselves. But I won't strike first, no matter what you show me. The vision of the burning colony faded. Jake found himself back on the bridge, his crew still frozen in time. Interesting, the Sentinel said. You choose to risk this future rather than prevent it with violence. Real courage isn't about being willing to fight. It's about knowing when not to fight. The first test is complete. You have shown true courage. The courage to resist easy answers. The countdown timer showed 18 hours, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Jake's crew began to stir, blinking and looking around in confusion. Captain? Ben asked. What happened? I felt like I was dreaming. You were safe, Jake told him. How are we doing with those alien ships? They're holding position. No aggressive moves yet, but they're definitely not happy. Good. Sentinel, what's the second test? The test of wisdom. But first, your crew should understand what they face. The main screen lit up with images Jake had never seen before. Ancient cities that stretched across entire continents. Ships that could cross the galaxy in days. Weapons that could destroy stars. The Builder civilization at its height, the Sentinel explained. They ruled the galaxy for millions of years. They brought peace, knowledge, and prosperity to countless worlds. The images changed, showing the same cities in ruins. Ships broken and burning. The proud builder species lying dead in their crystal halls. The war of extinction. Every other major species in the galaxy united against the builders. They were jealous of builder power, afraid of builder wisdom. So they destroyed everything. Doctor. Carter stared at the images. The archaeological sites we've found. They weren't natural disasters or civil wars. They were genocide. Total genocide, the Sentinel confirmed. But the builders had foreseen this possibility. In their final years, they prepared for their legacy to live on through others. Tony looked confused. But why humans? We're not the strongest species. We're not the smartest. Hell, we barely got off our own planet a few hundred years ago. Strength can be used for evil. Intelligence can be turned to destruction. The builders learned this from their enemies. They looked for different qualities in their inheritors. What qualities? Kate asked. The ability to work together despite differences. The desire to explore rather than conquer. The willingness to help those weaker than yourselves. Jake felt a new weight on his shoulders. So the second test is about wisdom? Yes. You must make a choice that will affect not just your species, but all life in the galaxy. The screen showed a star map with thousands of marked points. These are the locations of all remaining builder sites. Weapons, knowledge, technology beyond imagination. If you claim the inheritance, all of this becomes available to humanity. What's the catch? Jake asked. He had learned to be suspicious. When things seem too good to be true. The knowledge includes the power to control other species. To dominate them as the original Galactic Coalition feared the builders would do. You could make humanity the undisputed rulers of the galaxy. The bridge went quiet. Jake could see the temptation in his crew's eyes. Who wouldn't want that kind of power for their people? Or, the Sentinel continued, you could choose to use the inheritance differently. Share the knowledge. Lift up other species rather than dominating them. Create the peaceful galaxy the builders always dreamed of. But that would be harder. Lisa said, more dangerous. Other species might use the knowledge against us. Much harder, the Sentinel agreed. And there is no guarantee of success. Many species will resist, Some will try to steal the technology for themselves. Humanity would have to earn respect rather than simply taking control. Jake thought about the alien ships surrounding them, about the fear in their voices when they demanded he leave. They were afraid of what humanity might become. If we choose the path of domination, we become what the Builder's enemies feared most, he said slowly. Exactly. You repeat the cycle that led to the War of Extinction. And if we choose the harder path, then you must prove that wisdom and cooperation can succeed where force and fear failed. Jake looked around at his crew. These people had followed him across the galaxy. They trusted his judgment. But this decision was too big for one person. I need to discuss this with my crew. You have 1 hour to decide. Choose wisely, Captain Murphy. The future of the galaxy depends on your wisdom. As the countdown continued ticking down, Jake gathered his officers around the conference table. Outside, the alien fleet waited, weapons ready. Inside, 5 humans prepared to make a choice that would echo through history. The conference room felt smaller than usual, with the weight of galactic destiny pressing down on them. Jake looked at each of his officers, wondering how 5 humans had ended up making decisions for their entire species. So, he said, we have to choose between ruling the galaxy or trying to unite it. When you put it like that, it sounds easy, Kate said. But ruling would be safer for humanity. Would it? Lisa asked. The Builders ruled the galaxy, and look what happened to them. Tony leaned back in his chair. The Sentinel said other species are watching us. If we choose domination, they'll probably try to do to us what they did to the Builders. They might try anyway, Ben pointed out. Even if we choose cooperation, some species won't trust us. They'll think we're lying. Jake rubbed his temples. A headache was building behind his eyes. Let's think about this differently. What kind of galaxy do we want our children to live in? A safe one, Kate said immediately. Peaceful one, Lisa added. One where humans can explore and learn, Ben said. One where we don't have to be afraid all the time, Tony finished. Can we have all of that through domination? Jake asked. The room went quiet. Finally, Kate spoke up. My grandfather fought in the resource wars back on Earth. He used to say that peace built on fear never lasts. Someone always challenges the ruler eventually. So we choose cooperation? Ben asked. I think we have to, Jake said. But we need to be smart about it. We can't just hand out builder technology to everyone. We could start with the species that aren't shooting at us, Tony suggested. Before anyone could respond, alarms began, blaring throughout the ship. Ben jumped up and ran to the wall console. Captain, we've got multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace. Big ones. They rushed back to the bridge. A main screen showed at least 30 new vessels surrounding the Sentinel. These were different from the first group, sleeker and more advanced. Are they hostile? Jake asked. Unknown. They're not powering weapons, but they're not responding to communications either. The Sentinel's voice filled the bridge. The hierarchy has arrived. The hierarchy? Lisa asked. The coalition that destroyed the Builders. They still exist, still rule most of the galaxy. They have been waiting for this moment for millions of years. A new voice came over the communication system. It was cold and mechanical, clearly artificial. Primitive humans, you have activated Forbidden's technology. Surrender the weapon or face extinction. Jake felt his anger rise. This is Captain Murphy. We're conducting peaceful research. We're not threatening anyone. You threaten the order of the galaxy by your very presence near that device. We will not allow another builder species to arise. We're not trying to replace the Builders, Jake protested. Your intentions are irrelevant. Your potential is what matters. You will leave now or be destroyed. The hierarchy ships began moving into attack formation. The original alien fleet that had been surrounding them suddenly looked small and harmless compared to these newcomers. "Captain," Kate said quietly, "their weapons are charging." "How long until they're in firing range?" 2 minutes. Jake looked at the countdown timer for the Sentinels test. 12 hours, 43 minutes, and 27 seconds. Just over 12 hours remaining. "Sentinel, can your weapons protect us?" "Yes, I can destroy their entire fleet easily. But doing so would constitute a choice. The choice of violence over diplomacy. They're not giving us much choice here." "There is always a choice, Captain. That is the point of the third test. The test of unity. But my crew is already united." "Not your crew, your species. And all the other species watching this moment." Jake felt understanding dawn on him. "The aliens that were here first, they're not our enemies. No, they are refugees. Species that have been oppressed by the hierarchy for centuries. They came here hoping to claim builder technology for themselves, to free their people. And now they're caught between us and the hierarchy." "Exactly. The third test, Captain Murphy, is whether you can unite former enemies against a common threat." On the screen, Jake could see the original alien ships caught between the Harrison and the approaching hierarchy fleet. They were trapped, outgunned, and probably terrified. "Ben, open a channel to the first group of aliens." "Sir?" "Do it." A new voice came through, the same harsh alien accent from before. But now it sounded scared rather than angry. "This is Captain Murphy. I know you're between us and the hierarchy. I know you're in danger. Human Captain, you do not understand the forces you have awakened. Maybe not. But I understand being trapped by bullies. I understand wanting freedom for your people." There was a long pause. When the alien spoke again, his voice was different, more careful. "What do you propose?" Jake took a deep breath. This was it, the moment that would define everything that came. "After, I propose we work together. Pool our ships, our knowledge, our courage. Show the galaxy that different species can stand as equals. You would trust us after we threatened you? You were scared. I understand scared. But the hierarchy is everyone's enemy now." Dr. Carter was running scans on the alien ships. "Captain, I'm detecting multiple species out there. At least 7 different types of vessels. 7 species willing to fight the hierarchy," Jake said. "Sentinel, if we unite these ships with your technology, do we have a chance?" "More than a chance. You would have the beginning of something new. Something the galaxy has not seen since the fall of the builders." The hierarchy fleet was almost in weapons range. Jake could see energy building around their massive guns. "This is your last chance, humans," the mechanical voice warned. "Surrender or die." Jake looked around his bridge one more time. His crew was ready. The alien ships were moving into defensive positions around the Harrison. The Sentinel's ancient weapons were powering up. "Attention, hierarchy fleet," Jake broadcast. "This is Captain Jake Murphy, speaking for the free species of the galaxy. We reject your ultimatum. We reject your rule. Today, we choose to stand together." The screen lit up with weapon fire as the battle for the future of the galaxy began. But as the first shots were fired, Jake noticed something on the sensor display. More ships were arriving. Dozens of them, then hundreds. Species from across the galaxy, drawn by news of the confrontation. The galaxy was watching. And soon, everyone would have to choose which side they were on. The space around the ancient Sentinel erupted in light and fire. Hierarchy ships launched their attack with weapons that could melt planets. But the Sentinel's defenses were beyond anything the galaxy had seen for millions of years. Energy beams that should have destroyed the Harrison simply disappeared into shimmering barriers. Missiles that could level cities burst harmlessly against invisible walls. The alien ships that had chosen to stand with humanity found themselves protected by the same ancient technology. Impossible, the mechanical hierarchy voice snarled. Builder technology was destroyed. You made sure of it. You destroyed the builders, Jake replied as he watched the battle unfold. But you never understood what they really were. A sentinel's voice carried across all communication channels, speaking to every ship in the growing fleet. The builders were not conquerors. They were teachers. They did not rule through fear, but through hope. And hope, as you are about to learn, is much harder to kill than flesh and blood. More ships continued to arrive. Jake watched in amazement. As the sensor readings climbed, 300 ships, 500, 1,000. Species from every corner of the galaxy, drawn by news that someone was finally standing up to the hierarchy. Captain, Ben said excitedly, I'm getting communications from the new arrivals. They're asking permission to join the fight. All of them? Most of them. Some are asking what we're fighting for. Jake opened a channel to the entire fleet. This is Captain Jake Murphy of Earth. We fight for the right of all species to choose their own path. We fight for a galaxy where knowledge is shared, not hoarded. We fight for the dream the builders died trying to protect. The response was immediate. Hundreds of voices in dozens of languages, all saying the same thing. We stand with you. Tony looked up from his engineering station. Captain, the Sentinel is doing something to our systems. I'm reading power levels I've never seen before. What kind of power? Enough to light up half the galaxy. And it's not just us. Every ship that's sided with us is getting the same upgrades. Jake felt a strange tingling in his hands. When he looked down, he saw faint symbols glowing on his skin. The same symbols he had seen on the Sentinel's hull. The final test is complete, the Sentinel announced. You have shown courage by refusing to strike first. You have shown wisdom by choosing cooperation over domination. And you have shown unity by bringing together species that have been enemies for centuries. What's happening to us? Lisa asked. She was staring at her hands, which were also glowing with builder symbols. You are becoming what you were always meant to be. The inheritors of the builder legacy. Not their replacements, but their students. The glow spread through the ship, through the crew, through every vessel in the Allied fleet. Jake felt knowledge flowing into his mind. Not just facts and figures, but understanding. The history of the galaxy, the dreams of the builders, the potential of every species fighting alongside them. We're connected, Ben whispered. I can feel the other ships, the other crews. We're all linked. The builder gift, the Sentinel explained. True unity. Not the unity of conquest, but the unity of understanding. Each species keeps their identity, their culture, their freedom. But all share in the wisdom of the whole. The hierarchy fleet was retreating now, their weapons useless against builder-enhanced defenses. But Jake could see fear in their tactical movements. This wasn't just a military defeat. It was the end of their age of domination. This is not over, humans, the mechanical voice warned. We will return with greater numbers, greater weapons. You're welcome to try, Jake replied. But you'll be facing more than just humans. You'll be facing everyone who believes in freedom. As the hierarchy ships fled, Jake felt a profound change settling over the galaxy. The network of connected minds was growing, spreading to worlds and systems across the spiral arms. Species that had been enemies for millennia were suddenly able to understand each other's perspectives. The galaxy is changing, Dr. Carter said. She was accessing builder databases, learning about technologies that could heal worlds and extend life across the stars. We have the knowledge to fix so many problems. Poverty, disease, environmental destruction. But we have to be careful, Jake warned. The builders had all this knowledge too, and it couldn't save them from jealousy and fear. Then we'll have to do better, Kate said. "We'll have to prove that this time can be different." The countdown timer on the Sentinel had stopped at 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. But instead of marking an end, it now showed a new message. Inheritance claimed, welcome home, children of Earth. 6 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of the New Babylon station, humanity's first builder-enhanced construction. Through the transparent walls, he could see ships from hundreds of species docked at the station. Humans worked alongside. Aliens who had been myths just a year ago. Ben, now wearing the insignia of the Galactic Communication Corps, approached with a datapad. "Captain, we've got reports from the Outer Rim. 17 more species have joined the Alliance this week. Any problems? A few. Some of the newer members are having trouble with the mental link, and there are still hierarchy holdouts causing trouble in the core systems." Jake nodded. It wasn't perfect. It never would be. The galaxy was too big, too diverse, too complicated for any system to work perfectly. But it was working better than anything that had come before. "Sir," Ben asked, "do you ever regret it? The choice we made?" Jake looked out at the bustling station. Human children played with alien younglings in the recreation areas. Scientists from dozens of species worked together on projects that would have been impossible before. Former enemies shared meals and stories and dreams. "No," he said finally. "I don't regret it. The builders were right about us. About what we could become." "What's that?" "Teachers, explorers, friends." Jake smiled. "The galaxy is a big place, Ben. There's room for all of us." In the distance, the Sentinel continued its eternal watch, no longer alone. It was surrounded by a growing fleet of ships from every corner of the galaxy, all united in purpose. The age of the hierarchy was ending. The age of the Alliance had begun, and somewhere in the vast network of connected minds, the dreams of the builders lived on, carried forward by the species they had chosen to inherit the stars. The weapon that spoke English had become something much more important than a weapon. It had become a bridge between the past and the future, between different species and different ways of thinking. It had become hope, and hope, as the galaxy was learning, was the most powerful weapon of all.